Good evening, everybody, and this is your executive summary from Acorn Wealth. This is Johnny Seville for setups for Friday, 17th of July. Of course, we are going into options expiration, which means what? It means open range will be set for the rest of the month of July. Now, we've been talking for the last few weeks about, last few days at least, about the way the S&P 500 has been setting up. And we talked about the fact that it's likely to remain bullish as we headed in towards the bump and run formation. Now, we talked about that on Tuesday. You can see we've now completed that move. So what does that mean? Well, a bump and run is a very bullish momentum move. And what it typically means is that it'll move up and then hit resistance, pull back somewhat, sometimes all the way back to support, sometimes just a little bit, and then run. So go further. Now, so right now everything's looking pretty bullish with high closes and basically stable volume. You can see the money flow, has also broken above zero, which is a bullish sign showing accumulation from the smart money. So. And of course, tomorrow we set the open range. So if tomorrow's open range is set, maybe a pullback to somewhere around the 2116 type of level, maybe as low as 2110, and then we break higher than that and break this trend line, that could be very bullish signs for the market. Again, we talked in last night's executive summary about a bunch of shorts. Tonight we'll talk about a few different longs. Now, these are mostly from the Fallen Angel strategy. We've got Groupon first up. Let's just go back to our view here. So now Groupon is looking like a decent long. You can see the way that these moving averages have been consolidating quite tightly and then have squeezed into this tight consolidation zone over these 3-day period. Now, it's now broken through. You can see the volume went from 6.83 million, and now I'm looking down here. You'll see that as I move my cursor over, it says 6.83 million to 10.5 million. So we have a confirmed breakout. So this could be a nice potential rally here from a break of 520 up to at least 563. So that's a nice 43-cent potential return, and I'd be looking at the stop loss around 498. So that's the first on the list. Next on the list is Mara. Mara, M-A-R-A, had a beautiful rally. I mean, this was, again, another big breakdown, plummeted 37.2% here, and then had broke through that resistance, 10% rally yesterday, slight pullback to the moving average today, only 1.5%. So this has got some real steam behind it. So I'd be looking for if this can break 344. And I'd be looking for a rally up to 388 with a stop criteria at 324. Now, with all of these, again, these are just first targets. So as they approach those targets, I'd be moving those up and adjusting the stop loss accordingly, because if this really runs, we could be looking at kind of this trend line-based resistance that comes in here. So you can see that there would be the breakout of that trend line of 346. And there we go. And so we may just have a quick look. We may even want to go just a slight bit higher, but it's probably okay there. What we want to look at is where that top line resistance would be in terms of a target. And we just move that up. You can see we have that nice trend line. So this is a bump and run as well. The long formation, the scoop, and then the rally. So I mean, we could be looking at a rally up to 465, even potentially on this one. So that's kind of the longer term pie in the sky type of stuff, and that's where we'd keep updating our stop loss. So 344 as a break, or we could also be looking for a pullback to around support at the close of this candle at 327. So two different potential entry zones, 327 or a break of 344. All right, second last on the list. TFM, the fresh market. And you can see this one actually broke through, again, some nice resistance. You notice these all look the same. Good accumulation of the money flow, breaking of resistance, confirmation from the volume. We had 258,000 yesterday, 657,000 today, so we're looking at a 3 times multiple almost. And so this is looking good. For the fresh market, I'd look for a pullback to 33.38. and then a continuation from there to bounce off support and rally up to 35.33. As a stop loss, looking at 32.59. So again, decent risk reward with only roughly about what are we looking at? 70 cents, 80 cents of risk for about $2 reward. So again, that's a nice ratio that keeps us in stead. And last but not least, TTHI. This is another explosive move today. I mean, you can see it plummeted 74%, and these cheap therapeutic companies can be buyout targets. So this is what kind of makes them interesting. I wouldn't be shorting them because of that risk of a takeover. Now you can see that it's flatlined, and then today rallied 19.8% on 900,000 almost volume, which is about 1.6 million bucks worth, 1.8 million bucks worth, from 63,000 yesterday. So this could be the start of something beautiful. And so, I mean, two ways to play this. I'd be looking for a break of 255. Which is a break of the high of this candle, or a pullback to around the 245, 247 area. Okay, so in terms of target, I'd be looking at 293. So we've got about potentially around 45 cents of reward, and I'd be looking at about a stop loss around 227 on that one. Now, two shorts to add to the mix. First, we have COH. Now, COH is has just broken some all-time lows, really, over the last year and a half. You can see that support's pretty much nestled in around this level, and we have broken that today. And the money flows coming out of it. I mean, of course, with the kind of decrease in activity in the Chinese economy, COH relies a lot on that, and the retail stocks haven't been doing very well. Of course, so COH, we're looking for a break of 32.37. Down to at least 30.25, but hopefully further down to 28.67. We've used Fibonacci extensions to calculate those levels, and I'd be looking at a stop loss of 33.87. And the other stock on the short list is GBRK, Green Brick. Now, a lot of the housing stocks really just haven't had much lift at all. I'm typing that in wrong, it seems. GBRK. Excuse me, it's GRBK, Green Brick. Okay, so this one may be a nice rollover story. We've got some resistance levels coming in here. Again, sharp sell-off from these previous levels. Now we've reached those highs again, and of course, in a true double top scenario where we get a really juicy drop, we want to see a lower high. So if this is the first top, that's an Adam top, not an Eve top. Sharp reversal. We're seeing another top here. So the second top in the double top series. And so, I mean, ultimately, we can sometimes see drops all the way back down to where they came from. Now, they do have some insider buying at $11, which was fairly substantial a few months ago. So as a first target, I'd be looking at an entry around 11.73. And I'd be looking at a target of 11.03, but if it keeps pressuring down, that could be even further, especially if the sector experiences weakness. As a stop loss, I'd be looking at 12.22. So, that is the end of your executive summary, and if you are not a fully fledged member, this will be the last week of the daily updates we send out for free, so make sure you take advantage of the best trade you'll probably ever make, which is to give us a go for $9. Again, as I said last night, reach into your pocket. I'm sure you have that much change sitting in it. $9 to try us out for a month and see if it's not worth giving us a go. So to do that, all you need to do is take your fingers out of your pocket and punch in acornwealthcorp.com/fly. And you can sign up there. So we look forward to hopefully seeing you all in next week's summaries. And from now, happy trading and good night.